Katie, I love how much importance you placed on the least restrictive environment and how being in a general education setting more often can allow kids to be a kid, make friends, socialize, and to join clubs. Really reminded me of many of the conversations we had in the Don't Limit Me discussion. Megan had talked about not limiting her and not letting the teacher's perception of her disability stop her from doing what everyone else was. I think this can be tied right back into the dignity business and especially what you said about LRE. Another part of your response that stood out to me was the quote you picked out from the eulogy, that Jay was a person in and of himself. This is such a great representation of what the dignity business means. I also like that you noted that it is not about labels or who your parents are or who your family knows or how much money you have or even if you have a disability or not. It's about being a person. I think we really see that reflected a lot in our Vulgarides and Sour readings from this week. We read how people's privileges can impact their child's ability to be seen with dignity. Families from predominantly white, wealthy, and stable households are seen through that dignity lens, which allows them to access more resources, even to the level of possible resource hoarding. But unfortunately, we also saw that families from lower socioeconomic and diverse backgrounds see less of those resources and are more frequently in resource or more restrictive settings, leading them to be seen with less dignity. I think that as we, as teacher leaders, need to be more cognizant of how we are approaching families and students. All kids deserve to be seen with dignity. I think our next steps would be to examine ourselves and our staff, perhaps share with them this video and make it a larger school discussion on being in the dignity business and what that looks like at our school. So how can we ensure that all staff are in the dignity business? Those inequalities that Vulgarides and Sour pointed out are still there, even if we actively work against them. So how can we try to limit the amount of inequality of resources, especially if we do not have the full support of those in higher positions?